Yay, everybody, we're live. A little tardy, but we're live. I do appreciate your incredible patience. You know, the joys of burning the midnight oil. All right, it's cumulative. The reason why I'm going to tell you that it's cumulative is to remind you that it is. You see, the work that you put in, that you practice every day, with getting your state of mind correct, that's best suited to you. Every day that you put that work in, it builds so that you don't have to start over every day at a low point, but you build like Lego, one on top of the other. Every time you practice, the better you get at switching states instantly. And that is the magic. The better you get, the better you get, the better you get. Esther Hicks, right? But what's happening here is, as I tell people when you do acupuncture and you take herbs, the minute you put that needle in, the meridian begins to open up and more flow starts to happen. You might not see it just yet. You might not feel it just yet. Maybe you do, depending on how sensitive you are. But either way, as soon as you start doing it, the next time you do it, and the next time you do it, and the next time you do it, you will begin to notice the effects of it sooner, faster. So, this is why practice is important. You don't just practice today and tomorrow and then, oh, well, I'm going to take a break next week. No. Day after day after day, we build one upon the other. That's what we're doing. We're building one upon the other. So don't take for granted your progress. Oh, but I don't really see a difference. Uh-huh. That's not, we walk by what now? Faith and not by sight. You don't see a difference, but I promise you, if you stop doing it, I don't recommend it, but if you stop doing it for even half of a day, you'll notice the repercussions of your actions. Because something happens to you when you start to live from your desired state. Little things, because that's how it begins. It begins with those little things you see every day in your life that you do over and over again. You begin to see that they change for the more desirable. But if you stop doing the work, how will you notice? You will go back to saying, oh my God, nothing changes. You'll go back to saying that because that's where your practice has gone into, on that side of the coin. So today, the encouragement for us is simple. You get up every day and you practice. What do you practice? You practice recognizing where you're at. You'll see it by way of your actions. And if that is desirable and good to you, because only you can determine if it is, if you determine that that is good for you, well, then carry on. But if you do not determine that it's good for you, you say, wait a minute, what would it be like if my wish were fulfilled? And you allow that feeling to flow through you naturally. And as soon as you feel it, well, then you are in the right state. You are in the desired state. And from that state, that's where you return to many times throughout the day, deliberately. Now, how long can you hold it? 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 1 minute? Doesn't matter how long you can hold it. The point is that you know that you can get in it and then you know you can hold it. That is what you practice day in and day out. Because I tell you, I promise you, we live in a world with 8 billion supposed other people, allegedly. One spirit, many faces. And we live in this world with all those people. You are guaranteed somebody's going to ruffle your feathers. But even though your feathers may be ruffled, even though you can see something and you're like, but I don't want that, yet I will persevere. Remember, our task is not to be happy all day long. Whee! Woohoo! No, that's not our task. Our task is to be faithful to the state. Period. Be faithful to the state that you're in. Faithful, yes, go to it often and for as many times as you can, for as many lengths of time as you can. Don't neglect that new state. Think about what happens if you neglect your new relationship, neglect your new job. Well, somebody's not going to have those things pretty quick. That's why we remain faithful. Oh, I'm sure we could say, oh, Angela, but in this world of Caesar, I could be faithful to them and they'd still walk away. Hello, you could be faithful to them. Who are you being faithful to? Agreed, itty bitty. You're being faithful to yourself and to the state. Because if you are faithful to you and the state, well, then everything else has no choice but to be faithful to you. Because as within, so without. But you see what we allow to happen? We allow the eye and the ear to be distracted by what? External noise. That's not true. Look at how long it's taking. Nothing must be working. Oh, maybe your mother was right. Oh, look, maybe your teacher was right. You are a loser. Listen, we've heard many things. But if you allow yourself to be pulled, from where? Your state. Listen, don't judge yourself or beat yourself up if you're pulled from it or if you fall from it. Get up and go back. Get up and go back to it. It is where you say you want to be, so go back. How did you get into the state? What would it be like if my desire were fulfilled? And you'll notice that you don't pretend either, hey? You don't pretend. Why are you not pretending? Because the minute you ask, what would it be like if, the body says like this. So if the body says like this, it'd be like this, well, then it's happening for the body. You know, when scientists tell you your body doesn't know, like your mind doesn't know if you're telling it the truth or if you're reliving a memory or if you're actually doing it. That's how. That's how. Listen, so long as that memory has moved you, then that thing is real to you. It's like a trigger. Somebody says something and you're like, how dare you? Hello, that's real to you. I'm sitting next to you and I'm like, this person is nuts. Because I don't see your trigger. I only see you reacting to your trigger. But you wouldn't react if it wasn't real to you. So, it is real to you. It's real to you. Because you are seeing it in your mind's eye and feeling it in your body. So how could it not be real? It, according to your body and its chemical response, it is real. So, what are you going to do with that state? That state that you get in and you occupy and breathe life into, and you're the only one who can see it, like in the lecture last night, The Power of Faith. Neville says, what if I say, oh, look at that beautiful plant? And the guy next to him goes, there's no plant. Neville's like, the plant is real to me. He can see it in his mind's eye. So long as it occurs in your mind's eye, your body will respond. Because that's what confirms its realness, the sensation in the body. This is why now, this is how placebo, nocebo, and this is how when someone says to you, when they say, I have pain, I can't perceive their pain, but it is real to them. My job now is to mitigate that perceived pain because it is real to them. I can't say, you're not having any pain. That's a delusion. Wait, what? I don't have their receptors because I'm not in their body. Their body is registering something, thereby it is real to them. So when you use your imagination and the thing that you conjure in your imagination moves you to the point where your body reacts, remember, because God acts, man reacts, then that thing is real. That means you move from a state of wanting it to a state of having it. So you see, today, my beautiful friends, the moment you think about it and it moves you, you have it. So now you get to stay faithful to the state until it does what? Appears in your world for you to touch it. You give it objective fact. That's what we're doing day in and day out. So that's why I tell you, it is cumulative. Your practice is cumulative. So you test it out today and you're like, you feel a little shaky. You say, well, I don't know if I got it. Let me do it again. You do it again. You say, maybe I have it. I don't know. I'm not sure. You do it again. This feels better. You do it again. Oh, I'm getting a little stronger with this. You do it again. And you do it again and you do it again. Well, how would you not get it if you did not persistently practice? So you see, do not grudge the work that you do. Do not complain that the work you're doing is taking too long. It's not taking too long. What's the scripture say? If it be long, then wait, because it is sure to arrive. Scripture, paraphrase. I forget which one, but it is there. It's in Habakkuk. Habakkuk 2. The great news is Habakkuk is a short chapter. But if it be long, then wait. Why would you wait? Because he who began a good work in you is faithful to bring it to completion. What does that mean? What do you mean? Who is he? I am is he. That's why greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. This is why, my beautiful friends, we practice. Well, no better time than now to practice. If you are driving, just catch the replay. If you're in a safe place, you could be at your desk at work. You could be putting around the house, getting your stuff ready for the day. If that's where you are, let's practice. Go back into your memories, if you will, to a fantastic time. A time where you either heard yourself say, or saw yourself do something that confirmed relief or excitement or gratitude. We've all felt those at some point in our lives. Take a moment to just flip through the Rolodex of your memories. And when you find any memory that made you laugh, any memory that made you do a dance, get down the night, any memory that moved you in a most beautiful way. You don't have to necessarily recall the memory, but it is the recalling of the memory that will trigger the body's response and say, hey, we're doing this again? Pull up that memory. A good one, a beautiful one. Take your time as you pull it up. As soon as you have pulled it up, you are now in the desired state. Now hold that state. Just hold it. Remember to inhale and exhale as you hold it. What are you holding? The feeling that was yours the very first time you had that feeling in your memory. That's what you're holding. That's what you're holding. There you go. Let it go now. Let it go. See, here we are yet again having our conversation. You see, we slip in and out of states all day long. You could pop into the state of anger. You could pop into the state of relief. You could pop, it just depends on what's going on around you. But the key is to pop in and out of a state deliberately, not just because somebody pissed you off and you're in a different state now. You want to be deliberate. Because if you are deliberate, you're the one in control. You are the one in control. And that's what you want. You want to maintain your control. So today, what are we going to do? Let's do it again. See, because you've been listening for a bit now. Let's practice again. Select any state that made you feel good. Whatever memory that was. If it was the smile from someone, a hug from someone, the dog, the cat, the bird, whatever it was that made you feel good, bring it up right now. Bring up that memory. And as soon as you engage with the memory, you will feel its evidence of being real because your body will respond. Remember that really hot guy that walked by you the other day? You're like, oh, hello, handsome. Or the really pretty girl, you're like, oh, hey, sugar. These things you say to yourself, not to other people. Come now. Remember how they made you feel? A little jittery, like a June bug? Yeah. See? Hold that beautiful feeling you had. Hold it. That's it. Just let it sit there in your body. Yes. Let it go. So there you go. Let's practice again. What if you encountered a trigger today? You were somewhere. Maybe you were in the lunchroom. Maybe you are on an airplane. Maybe you driving. Maybe you're on the bus. Maybe you're at the superstore. Where are you? But that's irrelevant. But you're somewhere and you encountered a trigger. What are you going to do? You notice how some people count backwards? What do you think they're doing? They're moving themselves from the state of agitation to a state of calm. And we think all we're doing is, oh, counting backwards. to soothe ourselves. No, you are moving from the state of agitation to a state of calm. And here's the beauty: the more you practice going to the desired state, and the longer you sustain being in that state, it does what? It becomes your new habit. That's why your practice is cumulative. Oh my God, I've been trying to do this for 6 months and nothing has changed. Go back and ask yourself, what would it be like if my desire were fulfilled? You don't complain, you don't fret, you just recognize, wait, I'm missing the mark. I am sinning. So I don't want to sin. So what do you want to do? You want to accomplish the thing you set out to do. And the way to do it is stop and ask yourself, what would it be like if I were the man or the woman I wanted to be? And just let it flow through you naturally without inhibition, without judgment. And as soon as you feel it register in your body, you're in the state. Now, how many times can you call up that state and step into it so that you feel it in your body? And how long can you hold it? 3 seconds, 5 seconds? It's irrelevant how long you can hold it. The point is, step into it many times and hold it for as long as you can. Because now you are building yourself up to do what? Pop in and out of any state at will and hold it at will. And you know as well as I do, the more you practice a thing, the better you get at doing that thing. That is law. See? So why give up on yourself? Neville says, deny the senses. He says, though reason and your senses deny, your desire is fulfilled. Sure, they may deny it at the moment, but as I said, the moment you feel it in your body, it is real to the body. The body would not react if it weren't. Because listen, if the body started doing something that it shouldn't do, it started having an effect, you can guarantee that there's a cause because nothing is random. So if your body is registering an effect, there is a cause. So it is real to the body. That's why it responds. So that's why when the thing moves you, you react because it is real. So that new job, that new car, whatever that new thing is, so long as you see it in your mind's eye and it moves the body to react, it is real. It is yours. It is finished. And what did Neville say last night in the lecture? The power of faith? He said, your job is just to be patient and wait for it because it is done. It's done. If it wasn't done, you wouldn't feel the evidence of it being done. I will say a phrase or I will say 2 words. Gentlemen, I will say 2 words because you'll know what I'm talking about. Why? Because it is the nocturnal emissions. Don't ask, ladies. Just leave it alone. The very fact that it showed up tells you the body said, this is real, this is happening. It was only a dream. Or was it? The body says, no, this was real. So it reacted to the image in your mind, gentlemen. So you see, don't for one moment think that you have to fake it or pretend. The thing that is real to your body will show up, and there's always going to be a chemical response. As within, so without. As above in the mind, so below in the body's expression. So the thing that moves you is how you will act. Remember the woman last night from the lecture? She saw the bars, the sun hit the bars, and she saw the shadow. And she flashed back to being in the psych ward. And she got a little bit discombobulated, and she went south instead of north. But in so doing, she encountered her former maid who stole her furniture. And what the police and the private investigator could not do, she simply did by sitting with Neville on her furniture in her mind's eye, so much so that it moved her. Her furniture, the fact that she felt it, she reacted. So the furniture now became real to her. Where was it real? In her mind's eye and in her body. So much so that she had to encounter the thief. And that's how she was restored. So this is why Neville says, you don't have to lift a finger to make it happen. You just have to allow it to happen, because the state has its own way of expressing itself. And you will follow along a bridge of incidents. Remember the other one in the story? She was referred to Neville. Somebody said to her, listen, you got to go see this man because he knows what he's talking about. And she went to him because she wanted to reconnect with an old friend. Listen, if you're hearing it again, hold on for the ride. It's going to be a good one. So she wanted to reconnect with an old friend. And Neville said, okay, fine, let's just sit here and see that friend in your imagination and you reconnecting with them. That's what Neville told her. And when he was done seeing them reconnecting, he goes, okay, I'm done. And she's like, that's it. So my girl, in her disbelief, she's like, this man is nuts. She said, I'm going to go. I'm going to find my friend. She went to Hartford, Connecticut. The party you're trying to reach is currently unavailable. She went to Boston. The party you're trying to reach is currently unavailable with no forwarding address. So what was her only option? To return home. And wouldn't you know it, she's out and about, as she always was. And she comes out of the store, Hearns, she comes out of Hearns, and as soon as her foot hits the pavement, as they say in Barbados, her eyes and her friend's eyes made four. They saw each other. But she never could have put that thing together. But she went along a bridge of incidents, didn't she? She went to the store, she came out of the store. And as she was walking out of the store, bam, there she was. There was her friend. Not lifting a finger, it means she didn't have to go out of her way to make anything happen. She just had to allow it to happen, and she just followed the unfolding of it. But you know what? We would look at that just like she did after going to Hartford, Connecticut, and going to, I think it was Boston. She looked at what Neville did and said, that's not possible. That's too easy. That don't make any sense. She looked at that and said, well, I've got to put the work in. I got an effort to make it so. And what did she meet with? Frustration. Until she got home and did the only thing that she could do. What was that? Go about her business. That's all she could do. So while we are quote unquote waiting, you're still living. Hello. So live while you're waiting. What are you going to do? Hit pause? Hit snooze? No, you're not. You will continue to live, because as you do, a bridge as Neville calls it, a bridge of incidents begins to unfold, and you're like, oh, this feels familiar. This feels nice. And you follow it, and then there's your long lost friend. There's your stolen furniture. There's your new career. There's your new idea. You get the point. But how can we get there if we don't practice so we have the cumulative effect? So this morning, this beautiful day, be encouraged to know that when your body registers, when it reacts to the image that you hold in your mind, it is real and you have your desire. So now you have moved from the state of wanting and longing and hoping and wishing. You've moved from that state into the state of having. So every moment of every day, as best as you can, go back to that sensation. Pull it up. Pull up the sensation. Remember when Neville Goddard says to create a small scene that would confirm for you? What's he telling you to do? He's telling you to implant a memory that when you think about it, will put you in the state that you want to be in. So the memory is just the trigger. Hypnosis 101. It's just a trigger. It's just a word. Or in other words, it's just safe word 101. When you hear the safe word, you know you're in the right place. And so you stop. And you sustain being in that place. So that's how you know the thing is real. And that's how you know that you don't want it anymore. You have it. So because you don't want it anymore, you don't need to hope for it. You are now in the state of faith of, I have it. So how do you know you have it? Because your body reacted to the image in your mind. This is why a thought not felt does not produce results. If you don't, if you're not moved by the thought or the image in your mind, it is not real to the body, and thereby you will not experience it in the exterior world. But if what you see or hear in your mind's eye triggers the body to react, even though you don't see it yet or touch it yet in your 3D or outer world, that doesn't faze you. You know why? Not seeing it in its physical form doesn't faze you, because you have already been moved by its realness. And you've already been moved from wanting and hoping to having, because your body reacted to the image in your mind's eye. That is how you know you have your desire. So when you hear the Buddha say, don't desire things, suffering stems from desire, because we never actually move from desiring a thing. We stay in the desiring of the thing. But if you desire and you see it in your mind's eye and you are moved, then you've just moved from wanting to having, thereby desire is quenched. So today, my beautiful friends, persist in what? Persist in practicing moving from the undesirable state. Because why? Because you can feel it. The undesirable state is real because you can feel it in your body. You can feel your body's reaction to it. How do I know that you stepped in poison ivy? Because of your body's reaction. I didn't see you step in the poison ivy. So for all intents and purposes, I could say, no, you didn't. That was a figment of your imagination. It wasn't real. No, you didn't step in it. I can say that. But because of your body's reaction, it's real. This is why Neville says signs follow. They don't precede. The law of causation tells us every cause has its effect and every effect its cause. If you don't see the effect, then there was no cause. So, that thing in your mind's eye that you say, ooh, ooh la la la, right? You see that thing in your mind's eye. That's what you want. As soon as you see it in your mind's eye and it triggers a response from you in your body, you have it. And when you have a thing, you no longer hope or want it. And that's why you don't have to keep waiting and looking for the 3D and hoping that it materializes. You know that as long as you have felt it in your body, it has to materialize. We walk by faith and not by sight. Let us take a brief moment, shall we, to welcome everyone into the space on this lovely, wait, what day is it? Tuesday? Hey, V224. Jackie, darling. I see your name, but I want to say Jackie, because, Jackie Harry. Anywho, I love you. It's good to see you, Jackie. It is very good to see you, V224, here on Twitter. It is beautiful to see you all. Let's see. Who's here on YouTube, Facebook? Shea Butter, Sonia. They're the ones who've made themselves known in the chat. But the others have not. That doesn't mean I don't see you. I know you're there. Because according to the count, I see you. Fanbase, who's here this morning? Hey, Nicole, Taz07, Thick Sweetie, KZ, Joaquin, Flo Smiles, Stephanie, Marquise, and Jeannie, Oracle Treehouse. It's good to see you. It's good to see you all here on Fanbase this lovely morning. So I trust today that this made sense to you. Every day that you practice moving yourself from your undesirable trigger or state to your desired state, you will know it by the way it feels to your body. And because your body reacted, it is real. Tell that to the person with the placebo effect. Here, go ahead and take this pill. It'll cure your problem. Something moved within that patient who heard it. And that patient did what? Was moved to act to take the pills. They were moved to act internally. So, because they were moved internally and the body registered and said, oh, we are healed. This is why vain repetition is a problem. Unless, of course, see, it's not vain if it moves you. But if you're sitting there with robotic affirmations, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy. You sleep with it in your ear. I'm healthy, I'm healthy. No, it's not what you hear. It's what moves you. It's what moves you. It moves you because you believe that it is real. And the body says, yes, that's what you believe. It's true. This is why Neville says, an assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. That's what it means. So you see, you're not pretending. You're not faking anything. That's not what, you're not faking anything. If you are thinking of something and it moves you mentally, you will do it physically. Thereby, it is real. So then, Angela, how do I get the house? How do I get the car? How do I get the spouse? When you go back into your memories of having accomplished something. If you were sitting across, you've been in a relationship before, maybe, maybe not. You've seen romantic comedies, rom-coms, you've seen them, haven't you? And you had a thrill when you saw, I'll give you, because Matrix is my favorite movie, when Trinity gets off the train, right? And Neo is there and they run to each other. Listen, every time I see that, my whole body shivers. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh. You don't know how many times I've seen that movie. Too many to count. But every time I see that scene, I am moved by it. And I cry a little. Don't judge me. But that's my point. The thing that moves you to act is real to you. So what would it be like if you pulled into your garage? What would it be like if you didn't have to scrape your car in the winter? Let me tell you something, Linda. You would do a little dance. Oh, yes, you would. Listen, if you live in our weather last week, shoot, we got down to minus 42 last week. Minus 42. Don't ask what it feels like. It's not pleasant. But we got down to minus 42. Nothing wanted to move. So imagine now, if you will, what would it be like if you had a heated garage and you didn't have to scrape your car? You see how that would feel? You'd feel hella good. And because you felt, you were moved by it, well, then you have the house. You have the house. Why? Because you told yourself, this is how it feels when I don't have to scrape my car. And because your body registered, this is how it feels because I have my own garage, well, then you have and own your own house. Like Miss Deborah mentioned last night. No, no, not yet. Not yet. Wait, please. Please. Wait. Like Miss Deborah mentioned last night. In the interview, she would ask, where's my desk? If I get this job, where's my desk? And she would see that in her mind's eye, her sitting at that desk. Neville Goddard also said it. I'm sorry if you weren't ready for that. I was trying to convince him to do it, but he's on time. So you see, good boy, good boy. So, what would it be like if you were sitting at that desk? How would you... let me... I love you, sweet Braid, but you loud. Come, I'm going out here. So if you're at your desk, yeah? You're going to feel a particular way. And you're going to feel a particular way. It's going to move you. Then the job is yours. The job is yours. Because sitting at the desk moved you. You don't have to pretend. So you see the purpose of the scene when Neville Goddard says, what would it be like if? The purpose of that is to move you. And so when you are moved internally, mentally, it is done. You've reached the climax. Like this one this morning. Shoot. And here we are with his glorious song. He was moved internally, so he had to act. Right? Shea Butter, girl, you took the words right out of my mouth. She said somebody's moved to act this morning. Right? So today, my beautiful friends, when you are asking yourself, what would it be like if?
my wish were fulfilled, what would it be like? That's why he says, what would you be doing? Would you go to get your coffee? But you'd get that coffee and you'd feel a little bit different, wouldn't you? You get in that brand new car, you feel a little bit different. That is you. That feeling is you embodying the state and breathing life into the state. And because you have breathed life into the state and your body says, ooh, we in it. All you get to do now, because there's nothing left for you to do, you've been, as Neville says, mentally impregnated. What are you going to do after that? Just wait the 10 months. That's how long it takes before the baby pops out, right? So I trust. I trust today, my beautiful friends, that you will continually, persistently apply your practice. What are you practicing? You are practicing moving from the state you're in. That doesn't feel so good because it makes you act a different way that you don't want to act. So that's what you're practicing, moving from there to the other state. And how do you move? What would it be like if my wish were fulfilled? What would it be like? What would it feel like? And as soon as you feel it mentally and your body reacts, it is done. So however long it takes you, however many times, this is why it's cumulative, however many times it takes for you to go to that new state and hold it until it does what? Takes on the tones of reality, which means it moves you to react. Now it is done. It is done. And all you can say is, thank you, Father. I know that you hear me. Sonia, you met someone when you first moved to Florida and was working downtown. I looked for her all over, even on social media. And last year, I ran into her at the Barbados Independence Gala. We are now reconnected. You see? Oh, man. Listen, remote viewing uses the exact same premise. You see the thing in your mind's eye. And when you come upon where that thing is, you will feel its realness. And then you can say, there it is. And you can tell them where to go and look for it. Because, think about it. How would they know where to send it if they weren't moved internally? And how were they moved? When you go, there it is. I trust that you get it. Let me go back now and see if this young man is all done with his singing. He sounds like he's done with his singing, but that could be deceitful sometimes. He may just be taking a moment to himself. Right? But I trust today, my beautiful friends, it makes sense to you. Hey, handsome. Your song was real nice. I hope you're done your song now, huh? Uh-huh. What a good boy. What a beautiful song. You were moved to sing. So, I trust it made sense to you today. And now when you do it, you will know the feeling. You will understand. You will comprehend what Neville Goddard says. What he means when he says feeling is the secret. And if you don't feel it, you won't do it. Oh Lord, child, didn't that? You understand? If you don't feel it, you ain't gonna do it. Trust me. We all know what that's like. Those dishes, the laundry, mowing the lawn. I told you he was sneaky. Relax. Relax. Good boy. Relax. So you see, my beautiful friends,
Practice, because your practice has a cumulative effect and it will be very good for you. And that's why Neville says persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, which means go back to the state that you felt it in and it moved you in. How long can you hold it for? How long can you hold it? And then just wait. It'll show itself. Just wait. It'll show itself. Oh, Marquise, thank you. He popped in the chat that cumulative is increasing or growing by accumulation or successive additions. The cumulative effect of one rejection after another formed by or resulting from accum. Of course, the accumulation. It's okay, my neighbor's awake. Flo Smile says her son just woke up looking for the rooster. Well, the rooster's real, isn't he? The holy chicken. Lord. Andre, it's good to see you. So today, my beautiful friends, I trust it was helpful to you. I trust that it was. And you will now be more inspired to practice and remain faithful and persistent to your practice, because who are you supposed to be faithful to? Yeah, you. You. Be faithful to you. Let me get the water for, no, the bowl. Sorry. I can't play the water on YouTube. Copyright. Let us get the bowl. Listen. Listen, Linda. You know what? This is why I gotta move from being around you. Let's get the bowl, y'all. Let's get the bowl. And I closed that door a little bit, but he insists. But that's okay. And now for the bowl.
Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2. V224 and Jackie, thank you for being here on Twitter today. It is always a joy and a privilege to see you all. Much love, Twitter. I will see you tonight, 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What are we reading tonight? Ooh, Seek the Kingdom by Neville Goddard from March the 29th, 1968. That's where we'll be tonight, 10:45 p.m. I'll see you tonight, Twitter. Much love. Twitter is closed. YouTube, Andre, darling. Shea butter, a Sonia. Well, no, a Sonia. You're all the ones who've made yourselves known in the chat. And for the others, you know I'm looking forward to seeing you tonight. 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the lecture. Seek the Kingdom. Much love to you, YouTube and Facebook. Oh, also, remember, if you have not pre-ordered your Hermetic Oracle cards, visit Patreon. The link for YouTube and Facebook is right at the beginning in the description. It says, pre-order your Hermetic Oracle cards today. Click on that link and it'll take you right there. Excellent. I will host a telethon. All right, YouTube and Facebook, love you. I'll see you tonight.